Greetings, it's Stasia Bliss, the Kundalini Queen, teaching you how to manage your life force energy. So, as a summation of what I do, I just want to kind of break down what this idea is, the Kundalini Queen, life force energy management. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know what Kundalini is. You know it is life force energy. You know that you have chakras in the body that act as valves to regulate this energy and step it down into your 3D reality where you are interfacing with life. And you also know that as the Kundalini rises, it's clearing out old perspectives, old belief patterns, old levels of consciousness that were held by yourself and also previous generations in each of these centers. So let's say our Kundalini is awakened and it's risen and it's been clearing stuff out and you've gone through a myriad of transformations. Now where are you with life force management? Now what is the purpose of knowing about Kundalini? So I want to take it to the health region. I want to talk about the body and how our body communicates what's going on with the Kundalini. So Kundalini, when it's fully penetrated the whole being, if you've ever taken ayahuasca, the plant medicine, and I don't recommend that everyone do this. There is protocol that, would determine who's a good candidate for that. But in the past, I have utilized this plant medicine in a shamanic and sacred way, which is the only way I recommend doing it. But I feel like it showed me what Kundalini looks like in the body. This is where I got a large portion of my initial experience with Kundalini and watched it move through my body. So when Kundalini is fully penetrated the being, this is where you have the multi-orgasmic human that can orgasm from the entire body, from fingertips to lips to toes to ears to every corner of you, because life force has reached there and it is seeking to feel, to expand, to experience itself in that part of you. Because when we are fully embodied as a divine human, that means as much as of our consciousness that we can fit into these vessels is there. We have stacked as much of that consciousness in. We've expanded our ability to hold that much awareness in all these psychic centers so that we're aware of a bigger picture in each of these areas, right? More expanded version of loving, more expanded version of what empowerment looks like, more expanded version of sexuality, of relating to our ancestors, more expanded perspective on money and abundance and home. So from a closed, a more constricted chakra, in the first chakra with less life force energy, we can see how we needed to go through that experience so that we would relate to this earth. We had to feel like I'm finding a place here and it's home right where I'm at, say the structure you're in, say the people that you're with, to make you feel grounded on the planet. That's actually the first part of that first chakra awareness. And it's not negative that it's at that level. That's just its first stages. So then as we get comfortable being on the earth, and if you're not comfortable being on the earth yet, then just really feeling into your root chakra, really allowing yourself to drop into your pelvis. And this is where I like to teach, rocking exercises with the body. This isn't a great view, but, rocking on the hips so that you have some mental connection, you have some energetic connection to your pelvis. and to the awarenesses that are stacked there, like what Kundalini is penetrating in those first psychic centers. So all the chakras are psychic centers. They all, even though we think of being psychic as being up here, we actually are aware in all of these centers. So they're gauging our interface with reality all the time. So if you're having tension or pain or gripping or reproductive issues or leg stuff, all of that part of your physical body is speaking to you about those first and second chakras and about how you're doing. If it's stagnant, if it's blocked, if it's painful, physical body is trying to communicate, hey, we needed like an upgrade in life force energy in this region, and that's why you are feeling it there, so that you will bring conscious awareness to it and hopefully do something about it. So if I'm feeling stuck in my hips, then I really want to get into my hips. I really want to stretch into my legs. Yoga is great because it is allowing more life force to flow through the limbs. You're opening up where you normally don't open, and you're learning to breathe there. And so even if you don't have a yoga practice that you go to, a studio, you can simply tune into where you are tense, where you're feeling the pain. Like this morning, I do have a bit of hip tension going on. And, I've practiced yoga for almost 20 years. So that doesn't mean I never have any pain. It just means my body is communicating to me now to bring more attention, bring more consciousness into my pelvis, and breathe and expand what the possibilities are with the awarenesses that exist in that chakra. So if we're in first and second chakra, maybe now we can expand our chakras infinite times. There's not just a closed state and an open state. That's a misnomer. It's really opening like an accordion, more and more and more, until eventually all the chakras actually become one chakra. They all meld into one, and you can access all of them just from your center, just from your heart, just from your awareness. And we like to identify with these bodies a bit. It helps us stay in them. And so I don't think it's a negative thing, even if your entire chakra system has collapsed into one and you're at that stage of your evolution. I don't think it's a negative thing to still think of them as individuals, chakras. Like, even though your body becomes one fluid field of awareness, that doesn't mean you can't pay attention to your wrist or pay attention to your ear, or you still have these separate looking parts, even though you're one, and what you do in one area is going to affect other areas. But as we expand awareness and more life force energy becomes available to us in each area, then we get to, like right now I've got some sore wrists. And that could be from numerous things. You can look at it on a very physical level and be like, oh, I need to stop holding my cell phone. That's one level of physicality. I need to free up my grip from those things. And also move my wrists, move them in ways they aren't normally moved. Maybe I'm, just driving a lot, or maybe I'm sitting a lot and I'm not paying attention. So the pain will enter a place, or the tension will enter a place that we need to bring our energy to, our awareness to. That is moving the Kundalini. That's moving life force energy into that region. So as I look at my hand and I breathe, I'm actually sending Kundalini life force down into my fingers, and I'm receiving that. I'm being the giver and the receiver, right? So I'm both poles. I'm the pain and I'm the healing of the pain. If you've ever heard the poem by Rumi, we are pain and what heals pain. We are the sweet cold water and the jar that pours. We are both polarities. We are the one doing and we are the one receiving. We're the being. And that's where the Kundalini really infuses our consciousness, is when we know that we're both. We're both. And we get to, now I look for other areas in my body and I feel like up in my neck. And so I breathe into my neck and just move it in new, different ways, right? So there's other layers too. I was going to say, you can look at it just to the level of cell phone, but you can also look at the level as, am I grabbing, am I holding, am I giving, am I receiving, am I grasping the opportunities that are presenting themselves to me? And sometimes our higher mind, our emotions, our psyche will speak to us through our body, and you have to think about how our bodies are also showing up symbolically. So if it's digestion, you can be like, oh, I ate something funny. That's on the physical level, but you can also be like, what am I not digesting emotionally? What am I not digesting in my reality? What level of my spirituality am I not digesting? And there's so many layers to each thing, and this is how we access more of our multidimensionality as we start to bring possibility, life force, Kundalini, this source of our life, into all parts of us. So life force management is continuing to couple our awareness with our sensations. And sensations start in the body. So we've got life force management in the body, but then we have sensations between people, emotional sensations usually. That's also dictating where life force needs to be managed. That's a different conversation, but between people. And then in our homes as well, like how the home looks, if there's stagnant energy or clutter or so much in one area, or something broken or something like neglected in one part of the home, then that's a stagnant life force energy. If there's like a haunting or something, like that's also unaddressed Kundalini energy in the home or property. So these are the layers at which we can address life force management. So I hope that this has been helpful, trying each day to just delve into a little part of the whole picture of Kundalini. And if you need any assistance with your life force management, understanding that and becoming empowered in that, please reach out. That is what I do. This is Stasia Bliss, Kundalini Queen, and I will see you next time.